All right, we have plenty of folks coming in. Welcome, everybody. Good Friday afternoon.
Tiger's back.
Tiger's back, baby. Looking good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's doing today. Yesterday, finished his round hot, so we'll see how he does the rest of the week.
It's got me fired up to watch him this weekend, that's for sure. All right, we're letting everybody kind of jump on. We had a lot of participants register for this. It's going to be a great webinar. Thanks for joining us on a Friday afternoon. I am here with Michael Brooks. Michael, how are you today?
Doing great. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for tuning in.
And today's webinar and what we're trying to cover here is we really want to give a deeper look into kind of the accomplishments of the Op36 technology, and then how to apply that to your programs for 2023. And we'll cover really a cycle that we see and how we look at the product from the technology side and our product development side, but also the skills that these coaches have that, you know, when we think about coaching skills or we think about program building skills, we always think about, you got to be great, you know, actually coaching and teaching. And there's these other skills that the best program locations have. And hopefully we can walk away today knowing what those three skills are, but also have the tools, understand the tools and the technology that's there to support you to use, if you use it, to save you time and to really help you out in 2023. We can also go into what I'm excited about, you know, looking forward a little bit if we have some time here. But as folks are coming in, we do have a mixed group. We have some folks that are in Operation 36. The majority of the group is Operation 36 program locations, just getting an update on, you know, what are the newest and the latest, what should I be using and leaning into this year as we have a fresh year. And we also have a group that might not be an Op36 location yet. We have a few that have come in and they're just exploring it. So we invite both in. If you aren't an Op36 location, you're still going to learn a ton. You're going to see the entire life cycle of how an Op36 program is built and how to leverage the technology to take care of the whole programming life cycle. Michael, as we go through this, what would be probably the best way to take and field questions and answers? You're going to help me kind of guide me through that process. What would you like the crew to do here?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a chat feature at the bottom. So feel free to just pop up a question or comment throughout today's webinar, and we will try to address them as they come up, but we'll also carve out some time towards the end to try to get to as many questions as possible. But yeah, feel free to utilize the chat feature as much as you like. And if we can't get to everybody, we'll make sure to respond to at the end of the webinar.
Great. And Michael, if you haven't met Michael and Seth Thompson and now Sam Giambardo, they're really our program advisor, account managers that help onboard accounts. I mean, Michael, you've onboarded hundreds of accounts. You've been through this 1,000 times, it probably feels like to you. So this is, you know, second nature to you. But if you have any questions, Michael's probably heard it before. And my role is to kind of give a picture of how the technology can be used this year, the exciting new features on the registration engine, some of the things that are coming. And then hopefully by the end of this that you see how it all connects together. So again, ask any questions you have. Let's get started. And our objective today. So again, we're going to deliver kind of a technology crash course, so to speak. We're going to go through as many things as we can here. We're going to try to finish within the hour. And we want you fully prepared to tackle your personal program goals in 2023. And I'll be happy if you jump off this webinar and you've learned how to save some time, how to drive registrations. If that's one of your goals, is to grow your programs this year with the new technology, the new registration engine. Learn what best tools to use once someone gets in your program. That's really important. The top locations use just a few core tools that are built in there to help you when you're actually executing your program. And finally, how to actually show your impact using the technology. So we're gonna show how all three of those link together. And we hope you enjoy. And again, any questions right off the bat, go ahead and share them, and we'll be sure that we cover them throughout the webinar. Michael, anything before we get started?
Yeah, real quick. So it appears that, so if you have questions, please use the Q&A feature. I believe the chat is disabled. So Q&A, there's a menu item for that in the bottom of the Zoom. Feel free to use that. Thank you, Adam and David, for bringing that up. And we'll address questions as they come in and at the end of the webinar.
Got it. I think Steve Brewer was saying a lot of negative things in chat one time, so we had to ban that. I'm just kidding, Steve. It's a complete joke. I don't know how to turn that on, or we could turn it on real quick,
Yeah.
but I like that. Let's throw them in the Q&A. Perfect. Let's go ahead and dive in. To kick us off, Operation 36, as you all know, is a developmental golf program. The whole goal is to take someone from their first round until they can shoot par from the full tee box. So that's the value we deliver to anyone signing up for the program. If someone hits our website and they say, hey, we want to sign up for an Op 36 program, they know they're going to get weekly group coaching with people that have a fun environment, fun learning environment, with others that are of a similar skill level. They also know they're going to get on the golf course in a fun and motivating way, and they're going to have technology to track their progress. And that's what they're expecting. And honestly, those are the three things that we need to have in place to run a successful developmental program. You know, when Ryan and I kicked off with the idea of building a long-term junior program and using the TPI model back in 2010, we didn't understand all the different components that need to be in place to really execute on a developmental program. And what we have found over time is not only is there a cycle to this, and when we're thinking developmental, of course, there's a cycle. We're trying to get people to show up. They have to do some things over and over again, and we see them improve. And then the same thing happens. People show up, we get them to do the things over and over again, they get to improve, and they get a deeper love with the sport over time. There's three skills that we have identified that coaches that have the best programs are great at. And I want to share those with you, but we're also going to cover today, what is the technology that's there to support you in those three areas? And they are a step or a cycle, but I put them as skills because it is clear to me that if you are really good at skill one, you're going to be great at skill two, and you're going to be great at skill three. And it's this recurring cycle on the coaching side too, that just layers in to make you very successful. So the first one being, the best coaches out there are really great at filling their program. They are. And why? It's because they're really good at communicating, and they also have great systems that they've set up to get their classes live, to get their schedules live. And that's what we're going to help you with today. If this is seamless for your customers, we've been working on this all last year to get this brand new registration engine live. And if you're coming in and you were a part of Op 36 prior to this year, you didn't have a full registration engine that was public facing that you could lean into to make this easier. So a majority of the webinar today will be spent on step number one, filling your program. We're going to show you how to set up classes. We're going to show you how to get a landing page live. We're going to show you how registrations work from your perspective, also from the parents' perspective. So that's really clear. And then once your programs are filled, the second skill is delivering the program. And there's a lot of tools that we built in there prior to the registration engine that we've been working on for the last 6 years to make it easy so coaches felt confident in delivering the program, not only for them, but for their staff. And so this is creating your lesson plans and executing on lesson plans and sending email announcements, sending digital announcements through the app and the power of that, and also logging 9-hole events and the importance of those. And if you use those three core tools, you're also going to be successful in number three. And this is the most important piece that starts to fill the number one, back to number one, which is motivating our participants and showing our impact. If you don't do step number one, you're not going to be able to do step number two. If you don't do step number two, it's going to be really hard to do step number three. And so we're going to show you all the pieces and the components that if you use them throughout the year, what it creates is what we would call a flywheel. And a flywheel is once you get the engine started, it kind of fuels itself. And when we talk to the best locations, I can't remember who I was talking to last week. They say we have like a 95% retention rate. And they're also a top 50 master location, right? And they when they were mentioning that they don't need to fill it, it's because they use these tools, and those tools help fuel and guide them and retain their golfers because everyone knows the plan. They feel motivated. they see the impact, and they know what the next step is. And so today, what I want to go through, we're going to go through each one of these sections, first focusing on filling the program, going through that new registration engine. This is new for the entire network. And if you're new to Op36, you probably have come in, you don't know this is new, but this is a brand new system. It is version 1 of the system. We've gotten plenty of feedback so far. And we're continuing to build and develop that out over the course of this year and in future years. So please, any feature requests that you have, things that you're running into as blockers as we execute on this year, please let us know. But Michael, any questions that have come in before we kick off and go into filling the program?
So far, no questions yet. It looks like I had got the chat back enabled. So if anybody has a chat, it'll come right directly to us.
Excellent. Okay, so for skill number 1, filling your program. So I want to walk you through the technology and exactly how to use it to fill your programs this year. And what I did is take a little video, and I'm just going to talk over this video as we watch it and go through each step. I might pause it to cover a couple of things. Michael, if you have anything you want to interject, you help coaches do this every day. If you're sitting there right now and you haven't set a program up yet, you haven't set a class up yet, as long as you have your dates and your schedules done, which Michael and the team help you with, right? This is your next step. This is the next step. You could have this done at the end of this call even. So follow along. If you want to have your screen up to do it yourself, please go ahead and do it. But a lot of times what we found is just folks want to make sure that they understand exactly how it works before they go and execute. So we're going to go through all of that over the next 10 minutes. So step 1, we're going to show you how to get one class live on your program landing page. Okay. So, and we're trying to build a class that has 6 spots for parents to register. That's what we're doing as a part of this demo. So when we come in, we're in our dashboard here. The lead coach of the community has access to this new menu item called community settings. This is really kind of the start of this community settings panel. Will be a lot more in the future, but this is where all of kind of the payments and registration settings live at the moment. You'll notice right at the top, this is a portal that is connected to Stripe. So if you want to use online payments, it will say connect to Stripe there, and it will take you down a funnel of how to get connected to Stripe. That was payments was released. It was released earlier this week, and we've been launching beta to people who have asked for it. If you would like to get access, just please reach out to your program advisor. Probably in 2 weeks, this will be turned on for everybody. And there's a video that goes with it. So I'm not going to go down the depths of how to use Stripe or how to connect. Just know it's really simple. You click a button over there. It connects Stripe up. It walks you through a process, and it will look like this when you're all done. You're all verified, connected to Stripe, and all that means is I can take online payments. And then if we look below that, you can create different pricing packages for however you structure your facility. And it's really simple. You name it, you put a price, you put a description of what it contains, so that way when folks are registering, they see your different packages, they know what they're registering for. These are really helpful if you are doing things like, I want to charge for a new student right now, I want to charge a $49 program fee. Well, you can make an existing student package and you can put a new student package, and you can make them different rates and just make them as clear as you can. And folks would select the right package based on that. And that's what they would pay when they register for your program. And so these packages will be attached to your classes, and you can attach as many packages as you want to a class. If you're just getting started in Op36, we recommend just doing your standard one rate, one package, one price, and including everything. Now, there's folks who have been with us for years, right? They offer multiple layers of packages. They know how to lay out a full-on academy, but that's not what we want to focus on here. We're in this one, we're going to do just one package. You can set them up here. You can edit them here from community settings. But that's how pricing packages and all your settings work to get your payments and everything set up as well. So after we have that set up, we're just going to go to our classes page. And it is here you'll see build a class, and you also see this new link for view community landing page. And that is your private landing page that you can link on your website. I'm going to go ahead. You can click on it right from the classes. that link up there, that's your private link. And this is the first version of what it looks like. You'll notice we have 3 tabs now: classes, coaches, achievements. And you'll notice there's no classes that are currently live on this portal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to build that class, but this is live, and people can, this is your live landing page that anybody could look at. If you don't want it on the program marketplace, like if someone comes to op36golf.com and they click find a program, if you don't want it to be listed up there, you can contact your program advisor. We can make it private so you don't show up on the program map. But this link you still can send out to your membership. You can link it on your website for people to sign up for your programs. This is kind of your hub of where people are going to get started. All right, so now we're going to go in and we're going to build the class to put on that page. We can build it from scratch or copy an existing. And that's important because after you build one class, we recommend getting one of your classes done. If you're going to have multiple, go ahead and get one really done well, and then go copy it, because then it duplicates all that work for you. And then once you have one class in there, you can just duplicate it as well. I mean, would you agree with that, Michael? Is that what you teach everyone to do too?
Yes, definitely. The first class you build out, if you go ahead and you want to build it, add a thorough description in there if you would like to, and then set your schedule, build the first one out as much as you can. And then just as Matt said, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 classes that follow a similar description and schedule, it's easiest just to go in there and make a copy of that. And so all you'll need to do is just go in and tweak the times and dates in the schedule.
Great. So what we're looking at here, you would put in class name. There's a meeting times description that's really helpful when you're looking at all your classes, just a description of the class when it's meeting. And then that description box is really important because that's what's going to be displayed on your registration page. You can put as much detail in there as you want to make sure that everybody understands what they're signing up for. And then we'll go through some of these other ones. These are some of the new ones at the bottom, right? When we look at, and here's an example of just kind of throwing some stuff in. And we're going to skip the lesson plan for right now, attaching a lesson plan. We're just focused on getting our class live. And visibility. So this is pretty important. So you can, right now, the only feature to keep a class private where people can't register for it yet is to set this as private. There will be others in the future where it's a hidden class where they won't show up on your page, but you could still send it to people to register. But for right now, it's just private and public. So that means if it's public, it's going to show up on your landing page. People can go and register for it right away. If it's private, no one can register for it right now. It won't show up to anybody. If you send them the link, it's not going to show up. So this is what, if you're not ready to put your classes live, I would mark it as private. And then if you want to go build out your future classes you're going to put registration live at a different date, use the private feature here, make them private, and then know on March 1st, registration is going to go live. Just come in here on March 1st at midnight and make them all public and hit save, and you're going to be good to go. So I know I got a lot of questions around that. Michael, you did as too, I'm guessing. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. No, that's great advice. The private public, it doesn't have much to do with your facility necessarily. It's just to hide classes or host classes on your landing page. And that's a great advice to go ahead. If you want to, you can go ahead and build out all your classes for spring, summer, or fall. And just know that if you mark them as private, they're not going to be visible to anybody but you as a coach within your web app. As soon as you're ready to host registration, just make them public and they'll appear there.
Perfect. And I know there's more features that are coming to this that are being built right now, but we're just showing you where it is in the here and now and how to use it with what's currently here. So we're going to make this public so that way it does show up. These are your different groups. Right now, this is a very limited functionality here, but just so you know, this is going to turn into tags in the future. So if you're running, it'll have way more searchable tags so people can find your programs on our marketplace, but it also is going to allow you to organize your programs in the future on your landing page. So do the best you can. We know that's very limited. It's not a great selection right now, but there's a lot more coming here in the future. And then we have our new set class capacity here. So we were going to do a 6-to-1 student to coach ratio. So we're going to set it at 6. And all that is how many golfers can sign up for the class. So the nice thing here is Working with Golf Genius, they do registrations every day. And we were actually testing. We had like 100 people at once register for a class that only had 6 students in it. And it only let the first 6 in. And then it told everybody else afterwards, sorry, the class is full. You'll have to try again. This is probably going to be, this is a really good feature for those who are private clubs that open up registration. We all know how challenging that is, with folks and filling classes, but just know that it does work. We tested it thoroughly, and it will keep people out. It will also let you know as a coach once your class is full. So there will be an email sent when your classes do fill up. And yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you have 12 spots, you can put that to 12, and you can always go back in here and change this if you need to. Okay. And then finally, those packages we created, you can create a new package right from your class if you need to, but you could select as many as you want. But again, we're going to go ahead and just select the normal standard rate of $360. That's the 8 classes and 4 9-hole events at $30 in a session. So $360. Now, at the bottom here, there's a few, two payment methods. These are online and offline. If you do not have Stripe connected to take online payments, then nothing's going to show up here. The only thing you're going to be able to do is offline payment, right? Which means that people can register, they see the package they're registering for, and you can manage that. I'm going to show you how that works. If you do have Stripe connected, you get the online payment method as well. And you can choose whether you want online or offline, or there might be a specific class that you want people to pay in person. You can uncheck the pay online. I think the most important thing here, Michael, is that you do have to select that for every class. Like if you want payments and you want people to be able to just pay online, you do have to go to each class and make sure that the right payment method is chosen for each class. But it is dynamic. You can choose it throughout different classes. Does that make sense? Do you have questions that people ask around that yet?
Nope, not yet. Just maybe just one on packages is if you can list package prices, but not collect fees through Stripe. I think you answered that there. You have the option to list packages if you don't want to utilize the payments, online payments, you can just list them out. And if you want people to use it as registration, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So offline is exactly that. That's what is, you would just select offline payment method, or don't even connect Stripe to your account, right? If you know you're going to take them all offline. But people can still select their package that they're registering for, and you'll be able to see that here in a second. And you can manage it right from the back end in the enrollment. So great question. All right, so if we move forward, notice I'm going to keep both online and offline there selected, so you can see what that looks like during registration. This is the new schedule feature. Again, when you're first building a schedule, we recommend you just go in there and put the dates of that program, right? Just don't go ahead and put the details yet. Just get your dates set up. And you can go as deep as you want later, but just put the dates out, because those dates are going to show up on your registration. And it might take a little bit of time to get as detailed as you want. I'll show you it. This is what a detailed plan would look like. This is a sample of very basic, right? But this is what a detailed plan can look like. You could look at your lesson plans. You could really fill it out for everybody. The more thorough you are here, it shows up in the mobile app for the students. So they'll be able to see it. And so you can be as thorough as you want. I think the power in the schedule features, we used to have this schedule of events template for everybody. It was a Word doc that you could update. And now if you need to make an update, it's specific to that class, date and time. And if you need to make an update, it automatically updates everywhere for everybody, right? You don't have to resend anything. It also allows you to be able to, for your families or for anyone that's looking at this in the future, they will have a calendar view of all their programs, right? So by putting the specific dates and times in there that they registered for, right, by looking at this schedule, they'll see a calendar of their events with reminders that they can also port over to Google and everything, right? So just keep that in mind, that that'll be a future feature coming and why you would want to use the schedule. All right, so we've got everything set up. You can see up here, you can directly send someone the sign up page. I'm not going to go there now, but we're going to go back out and you can see our class, and we're going to go back to our landing page. And since it's public, you can now see here it is public on our landing page and how many spots are available. And that brings us to step 2. What would it look like if a parent was registering? What does the registration experience look like? Any questions so far, Michael, before we head through this?
Let's see. Nope, I think we're good for right now. I think when we get a little bit later on, we can maybe run through a little bit more about payments, but we should be all set for right now.
Perfect. All right, so this is from a parent's perspective. I'm going to let this roll through. They would come to your site, you'd send out your link to everybody or post it on your site, or they find us through the program map. This is a look at what your class looks like. They can read the description, they can see the schedule, they can see the pricing, and they say, yes, this one is for me. I'm going to go ahead and register for this class. This is perfect. Now, from here, this is a question we got asked a lot in the initial parts of this. If they already have an account and they're registering from the web app, they can just sign into their account here, and it will take them right back to registration. If they don't have an account, you can see that it's asking them, do you have an Op36 account at the Op36 Golf Club? If you do, if you don't, sign up here, right? So it makes it really easy for folks who are signing up. They can now not only register for your program, be put in, but also get their Op36 account all in one shot. So this is me saying, nope, I don't have an account. I'm going to sign up right now. And it will take them through the registration process. We're going to skip through all of this, okay? But you get the idea of a parent who's creating an account and also creating a student account. So I have Gage here. We can add another golfer, or we can finish. We can go, if we're finished with adding all of our golfers, we can continue class sign up. So we're going to do that. And now Gage, I select him, I select the package. And I want to show you just first what it would look like if you had online payments turned on. So this is someone registering online payments. They decide to go down that flow. We see we have Gage for $360 online. And if we move forward, it's going to direct us right to the Stripe checkout page here, where they're going to pay for the program. I am going to go back. We aren't going to do online payments, right? I'm going to select offline payments instead, just to show you that flow. And notice it said, you probably couldn't see it at the bottom, but it says request to join class. And so that will automatically allow them, it puts them in the class, everybody's registered. And our final step is to get them to download the mobile app. And we let them know that this is the spot where they're going to see your schedule and announcements, the view the curriculum, and have tools to guide them. And then the step that we're going to show you next is they can also easily register from the mobile app for your next program, which is pretty powerful for retaining and getting people to sign up again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and look at what happened. Well, I think actually we're going to go look if you have an existing participant. There's lots of you out there that if you put your registrations up right now, they already have an Op36 account. They're already in the mobile app, right? So what's nice is they don't necessarily have to go to a website and go through that process. They can actually do it right through the mobile app this year. And we're going to show you how to do that. So when they log into the mobile app, and here I am logging in as Gage, and you're going to see that there's no classes or groups. So there's a new orange button that says join a program today. If they click that, it automatically logs them into the app, and it shows them a mobile view of all the programs that you have available. And there's the same exact class. So this is just showing you from a different perspective. And they can go ahead and they can register right through the mobile app here. They click register for class. Again, same process, but they're doing it through the mobile app. We're going to do offline and request to join. And it says, hey, you've been successfully registered. Again, the coach, you're going to be notified as a coach. And when they click go back to dashboard, boom, there's the class added in, and it's pending coach approval. And notice that until you approve it, it's going to be locked in there, so they can't get access to it. So pending coach approval, it'll sit there, and then it's up to you as the coach to do the final step. And that's approve your enrollments and kind of manage the payments and packages that are coming in. So what you're going to do as a coach, we're back in your dashboard. You'll see a notification up here. You'll also get emails And notice there's Gage's enrollment. I can see where it is, what package he chose, and I can approve or decline it. I just quickly click approve, and I can set the payment status. So this is important for clubs that are using member billing. So you could, if you haven't sent this over yet, this is an internal function for you to understand if they've paid, or keep track of if someone's paid with cash or a check, or if you've charged their member account. You can use this to do that. There's typically 3. You can leave the payment status as blank. You can put it to outstanding, meaning, hey, I haven't invoiced them. I haven't asked them to pay me. I haven't sent them a payment link. If you did send them an invoice, you can move it to invoice. And then once they pay, you can come back in here or in your mobile app to keep track of the payment status of their enrollment. And again, this is all for offline payments. If it was an online payment and someone paid via Stripe, it won't let you change the payment status. It will show a little Stripe icon and let you know that it was paid via Stripe. All right, and then here's the alternative view of approve your enrollment from the mobile. So just as a coach, just so you know, if you're not in your web app every day, someone does, you see the email that someone came in and they request to enroll in your class, you'll see the notifications come into your portal. You also see this little update icon that's orange that shows you that it needs to be up, someone needs to be approved. And so you can click into your class and you'll see an orange bar that goes across the top. If we click on that orange bar or click on the roster, all of the people that we need to approve or deny are right here at the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit approve. All right. And again, from the mobile, you can come in here and change the payment status. If maybe they paid you on the range, you go ahead and you can change it to outstanding, or you can say, yep, they paid it. They gave you the money. Great. And now they're in the roster. And if we go back to the students app now, this is Gage again, they now have access to the class. So now they can see your announcements. They can see your schedule. They can click into it. And they have access to your class, all your updates that you've sent so far, and your schedule. Now, as a coach, I'm not going to go through the mobile app, but you can also edit your schedules on the fly from here. You can send updates from here from your side. We'll go over a couple of those, but that really rounds out the registration engine. I'll go back just see if this will actually go back for me or not. I did want to go back to the home screen here and notice that big orange button, explore more programs. If, this actually came up with Andrew Kiger's program. My daughter is in his program. And when I was going to sign up, there was no way to sign up from the mobile app. It should have been seamless. Well, it's now in there, right? I was trying to sign up for the next session. He was trying to do it through a browser, but I was already in the mobile app. And this, we recommend if you're standing there and a parent's like, how do I register for this? Or when do we do this? You could just tell them to open their app and click that explore more programs, and they can register right from there. I think that's really powerful in the whole cycle of this to understand, because it makes it really simple on you as the coach. Or you can send your landing page link out and everybody will be able to see your classes and register from the website. So web or mobile, it makes it really seamless for folks to get in and register for your next classes that are coming up. All right, I believe that is it, Michael, on the registration front. What questions have come in from on specifically on the skill number 1, filling the programs?
Yeah, so registration, we had one question on payments in regards to Stripe, and that was if there was any type of fee for transaction.
So Stripe or any other payment processor are going to charge a fee. It's 2.9% plus 30 cents a transaction. This is going to be the same fee that you get if you use Square or if you use Eventbrite. They all take fees. We, Op36, do not take an additional fee for the feature. The feature is free for you to use. but no matter what, we're going to have a payment processing fee. And I know Golf Genius has actually had a lot of conversations with other processors that they're working on because they're a large organization, they can get better deals. And if we ever have those better partnerships, we will work towards building those in. But right now, Stripe is the only payment integration option that we offer.
Perfect. One other quick question is regard to if they already have people signed up elsewhere, is there a way to manually add them to registration, or would we recommend just having them register individually just through the landing page? And I think,
yeah, it's a great question. If you already had them register somewhere else, we unfortunately would probably say to just go have them register again. I know that's a two-step process. It's not a great experience for your families, but it is the best way to get them into your class while also getting them their account, and it trains them on how they're going to do it again the next time, right? And then in the future, we understand there's some that are billing elsewhere. It is just a much more seamless experience if you just have them register through Op36, and then they know that, okay, you're going to go build a member account or you're going to go invoice them somewhere else, because all of your students, you don't have to go manually add all these people. You have everybody know exactly how to do it from the get-go. Any other questions?
Yeah, one more from the mobile app. So when it's the Explore More, if a family or student wants to explore more, and that'll direct them to the landing page. If that works for junior classes and adults, and the answer is yes, for any classes that you list on your landing page, the student or family can go in there, click Explore More, and request enrollment for any of the classes that you have listed. That's
correct. We made a decision to not limit it to the family admin because lots of times the parent is in as the kid in the app, and there's low risk of the student going through the whole registration process and trying to join another class. It's more the parents use the app for that process. And so you may get a kid or two every now and then that goes through and tries to register, but that probably is not going to happen. Just to be aware that it can happen, but you shouldn't get asked, and any profile of that student's account, you can register for any one of that family so that way they don't have to be logged into the right one. It's really, really seamless. And the best part about it is you don't have to log in, right? You're already in. Once they got in that mobile app, it doesn't ask them to log in multiple times. So it's just really, really seamless from that perspective. Even better, because I've already seen it in the roadmap that's coming, is when folks open the phone right now, when you can select between a family member and who you want to log into the app, there will actually be a family dashboard that kind of surfaces all the information of all their students in one spot, announcements, the calendar, as well as registering for other programs. So it'll be even easier in the future as well. Is that it?
Perfect. And then there's one last one as far as private clubs, if there's a code or how to avoid non-members registering.
Yep. That's a really good question. So we've had this one come up a bunch, and just know that we're working on a solution. The short-term solution is, if you want, we can remove you from the program map. And right now, if we remove you from the map, the only negative to that is that's also tied to the global challenge. So you'd also be removed from the global challenge, right? We are going to work on a solution. We're already talking with a few private clubs on what's the best way to approach this, where they want to be listed on the map, but they don't want folks to get in. And just know it's on our radar. The short-term solution is we can remove you for the time being from the program map, so no one can see your landing page, but you can still share that with members. And then when your program starts and your programs are filled, we can mark those as private, and they won't show up on your landing page and put it live. I think by the time we get into season, we'll probably have a solution around this, because it's come up a few times with private clubs.
Perfect. All right.
All right. Excellent. All right. Moving forward, after you have filled your program, which again, you have your new landing page, that seamless solution. Once you see it start to work, it's pretty cool. We're starting to use it internally at our locations, and it's saving us so much time from having to go invite people and manually add them. Makes it really seamless, and you get your program filled. Next is delivering the program. right? So what are those top tools you should be using to make you confident, make your team confident to deliver the program effectively? So the lesson plan and the lesson plan builder has pre-built templates in there for you. Lots of you already know this. It's really simple to get to. I'll scroll over here to the app. You just go to the lesson plans tool. You would, if we knew that was an 8-week program, we would create an 8-week. I could start one from scratch if I'm someone who wants to build out my own, or you could just come in here and you say, look, it's my first 8-week junior. I'm going to use this template. And at least you can get a view of all the different ones that are put together by our team of kind of how we run it at Op36 headquarters. There's videos on how to use the lesson plan builder. I'm not going to go through the depths of this today, but you could always add your own session in here. You can build more out. You can delete these, you can discard this completely. I'm going to go ahead and I'll delete this session. And I'm just going to move this forward just so you can see this is what the completed view looks like. It's very detailed. You can see the education you're going to cover for the day with the students, the game or activity you're going to do. I'm going to publish that out. And now my lesson plan is done. The cool thing about that is now I can go back to my class that we made, and I can attach that lesson plan to the class, right? I can come back here and say, I'm going to use that 8-week junior pilot, save it out. And as now we have a lesson plan on the class from the web view, but more importantly, you have lesson plans inside of the mobile app. Your whole team has those. So now we've not only got our schedule laid out, we've got the lesson plan that matches up with it. I know a lot of folks would just, if they know they're running an 8-week, Michael, would you recommend to just attach the lesson plan first before you go build your schedule? Or would that be what you recommend here?
Yeah, so that's the first question it'll ask, is if you want to attach, and if you can always do it afterwards. But yeah, you can certainly, I think when you go to build out a class, it'll ask you that. But yeah, just know if you don't quite have your lesson plan fully built out yet, you can do it afterwards. And the families will not see your detailed lesson plan. So you can always work on that leading up to the program start. Right.
So the lesson plans are you and your coaches to get aligned on exactly how you're going to coach the program, right? The schedule is what your families are going to see. You can put as detailed and whatever you want to port over from the lesson plan as much as you want, you can. And the lesson plans can be attached to multiple classes too, because you might be running 5, 6, 7, 8 classes that use just this one lesson plan, right? You make one update, it updates it across all of them. Great. So you got your lesson plan, so you know what you're coaching. And while you're actually getting out there and starting to engage in your program, the next thing we recommend doing is sending announcements to your families, right? You can do this right from your mobile app. I've seen a few programs, they'll do a nice little video announcement, film it on their phone. Can't wait to meet everybody. This, if you think about it, the mom and dad are back at home showing their student who's never been in the program before, hey, here's your coach. This is who you're going to go meet, right? And then for you, the coach, you have your lesson plan, you have your schedule in there that they're going to see, everything centralized underneath that one class. So everybody's aligned for the season. So potentially you could, I know we met with Janine Murphy. She did a great webinar on this. She essentially built out her entire program. She sent a video to everyone saying, this is how you register. And I looked in there and she's got everything already fully built out, like her lesson plan. She's completely prepped. So right now she's just waiting for registrations to roll in and then send a couple announcements to everybody the week of. And you can send one announcement to all your classes, post it all at once, or you can send it to specific classes. So all you do is you click on that post and update right here in the class tab. And it makes it really easy. It sends them a push notification. And then you can also elect to send it as an email from the mobile app. Anything to add to that, Michael, around communications with families?
No, I can't express that one as enough as a great feature on the go. Like if you're getting ready for class and the storm rolls in, don't forget that you have that update feature, because it also sends an email as well as a push notification. So it's going to be a great tool on the go.
Excellent. Excellent. And then running the 9-hole events. After you have run your 9-hole events, even if no one logs into your mobile app or ever logs around in your mobile app at all, they will, because they're looking at the schedule and your announcements now. But if they don't, you as a coach have the ability to log the scores for the students. That's why it's important that you make sure they do register, they do get into your classes. And if you're using their registration engine with Op36 versus having them register elsewhere, it makes it simple to make sure you have everyone in one spot. So as of right now, the 9-hole feature allows you to log the scores, and it creates this really unique leaderboard, but it also logs the scores on the student's profile for them. So again, I'll repeat that. It logs it for them. You, the coach, have the power to keep track of their progress for them, even if they don't go and log in or use the mobile app at the golf course outside of it. And that's important on two fronts, which I'm going to show you in the third section here as we wrap up, is being able to run the facility impact report and being able to show students that they're progressing, which feeds filling your program again, right? The whole life cycle. So if you have questions on how to do that, it's really simple. You go to the 9-hole events feature that's here in the app, right? You click create an event, you select the students that played in the event, and you log the scores. It's really, really simple. It takes probably 5 minutes after the event, just like in a league. And it sends an email out to everybody with the actual leaderboard, who passed, all of that, and it posts it in the mobile feed, as you can see here too. Michael, any final thoughts around the 9-hole events feature?
No, we did have a question about if 9-hole events show up in the app as an event round score, if they score on their phone app. I think the question is more of if a student logs it as a tournament round, how will that show up in the app?
Yep. Tournament rounds are different than when a coach does. A coach is called a formal round. It's logged in the background. Students aren't able to log a formal round, so that way we can see it was logged by a coach versus a student. And the reason that's important is because you'll see in the future here that as soon as it's going to require students to have a formal round log to be able to progress through the different levels of the curriculum. So you could still report and see that a casual round where they just went out and played on their own, a tournament round would tell you, the coach, that they played in an actual golf tournament, US Kids, one of the, something that they're logging after the fact. And then when you log it from your app, from the web app, that's logged as a formal round inside of the app. So does that make sense, Michael?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, great. Anything else around these?
Not for 9-hole events. One in relation to 9-hole events as far as pairings and groups prior to the event. And I think, I might be able to speak a little bit to that, as I know we've heard that a few times and we're excited about that one.
Yes, so we are really excited about that. Is one of the large features, we'll call it a large feature, that is on the roadmap that we are going to be tackling this year. So the idea is to just give a high level overview, is being able to set up the events ahead of time, having a series of events, having a roster, and allowing you to know who's coming, who's not coming, so you could quickly put together pairings and tee times. Obviously, we're with our parent company, Golf Genius, who are experts at this, right? But we're trying to make it seamless within the Operation 36 app. So just know, we apologize in advance. It is a bit of, we know the administration that you have to put in there right now, using spreadsheets or using Golf Genius, and they're separate. But just know that in the future, there will be a better solution here that will help you manage those. So great point there. All right. We'll move on to skill 3 of 3 as we're coming up on the hour. Motivating participants and showing your impact. This is the third part of the cycle here. This is what fills your program for the next semester right here. It wraps it at the beginning of it. You said, look, you're joining my program because I'm going to make you better. We're going to measure your progress over time. You're going to fall in love with the game of golf, and you're going to get connected with a group of friends that you're going to love playing golf with. Then you go into step number 2, and you say, you actually execute on that. You run the 9-hole events. You run these amazing group classes with fun games. During the 9-hole events, you're celebrating their successes. And it brings us to number 3, showing their progress. This is the whole idea behind this, is the psychology behind this, is to make sure people see progress every step of the way, because golf's not easy and you can feel like you're not progressing even though you are. And we can show that in multiple ways. One being, If you're not using the junior starter kits, we highly recommend you start using these. There are going to be a few updates to this over the coming year, but it makes it really, really simple for you to be able to show that the students are progressing, and for the students to have something tangible to show all of the milestones that they're working towards, right? Because what you don't see is when someone's at home or when they're talking about it. Probably one of the best stories I have is Kelsey and I, my wife, we went over to 12 Oaks 2 years ago to have dinner, and they were running the Op 36 program, and Andrew Cogger is running the program, and they had one class finish, and the girl came up from the class and was having dinner right next to us on the back patio with, and she had her bag, and she had her bag tag on it. And she was just staring at her bag tag, and her dad asked what she's looking at. And she said, I'm going to earn this one next week. That's the one I'm going to earn. And he's like, well, what is it? You know, the dad didn't even know what it was, but she was sitting there looking at it. And that's what you don't see is behind the scenes. To keep people in your program, you need to tangibly show that they're going to improve. You have to bring these things to life for them. So that way, the story loop in their head is, I can't wait to do my next golf program, because they know they're going to get better and they're going to see progress. So Junior Starter Kit, it's a really good tool. And if you didn't see the announcement, you now can ask or send a link to parents to purchase these, to order for your program, versus having to purchase them in advance in sets of 10. We worked with our distributor to get that live. And in our next feature release, we are going to have where you can ask parents to purchase right through when they go and check out through the registration. So just keep this in mind. If you're brand new getting started, it is a product that just helps you retain your golfers that much deeper and brings your program to life. The Global Challenge is another one that if you lean into, if you say, hey, look, I do want my kids out practicing play, and I do want them learning, engaging. You can bring up the Global Challenge at the beginning of every class and just recognize there's a class leaderboard. You can recognize who's played or practiced the most at the beginning of class. Michael, you used to write that on the whiteboard, right? That's how you would start your class?
Yeah, that was an exciting thing to do. Regardless if, you're just getting started and, you could write, our goal to the students is to crack the top 500 or crack the top 400. So having that number every week can be super motivating for the students and get them all on board and everybody wanting to go out and practice and play to help move their facility up the global leaderboard. So that's a great idea in the top right corner to write your current place in the Global Challenge.
Right. And between us as coaches, right, we know we want to motivate our students to play, train, and learn. Those are the three things. If they do it over and over again, one, they're going to stay in your program, but two, they're also going to get better. So that's why we designed these features, playing being the most important, getting 50 points if they went out and played on the golf course. That's going to impact you, your facility, and them. Training their skills at the golf course, that they log a practice session out. And then if they watch the videos in the mobile app and you've marked those complete. I will say the Op 36 curriculum is going through a really neat upgrade here soon. I'm not going to share any details on it, but finding different ways for the students to engage with you in the curriculum as well. And we can always see Dubs Dread and Emerald Lakes. They're always up there fighting each other at the top of the leaderboard. They got tons of students in their community. The Global Challenge hasn't been touched as a feature in a long time. And I do know there's a lot of cool ideation about what that can become in the future for like programs that are just getting started or different sections. But just know that this is at your helm and you can use it to help motivate your students, get them to play and practice more outside your program. And when you say, well, why would I do that? How can I show or reward my students that are going through it? We highly recommend at the end of every semester now, we have the player journey report that came out last year. If you've logged the 9-hole events, right, and you've had them in your classes, their progress is going to show up here. It's so simple to do. You literally come over to the reports tab here. You click player journey report. You select the students that you want to add. You can add all of your students, all classes, right? Or you can, if you're working on a class, you can just say, hey, I'm going to do this guy. Obviously, we just register Gage, confirm it. I can write a nice note. Great work. Or if I have, 100 players and I want to write them all a note, you can enter a general note and say, great work to everyone. It will apply it to everybody. And you click generate. And you can see here, Gage hasn't logged anything yet, and it shows a completely fresh template. But that's a good thing. It's because it shows the parent, it shows the junior or the adult participant at the end of the semester, you're looking at this stuff, right? We're monitoring this. We want to get you better. And that's what the goal of this is not to print it and go, oh gosh, there's nothing logged here. If you log the 9-hole events for Gage, his progress is going to show up here. And they go, well, why do you only have 4 rounds, but that person has 20 rounds? Well, they actually play golf outside of it and they log the rounds on their own. And that's where the formal versus casual comes in. You can see how many casual they've done, how many formal they've done with you, and practice sessions, the same thing. So if you have questions on how this report works, it's really simple, but it's really powerful to get people signed up for your next year. And by the way, this is hanging on the fridge at home. And I had 3 families in my house yesterday for dinner, right? So that happens all the time. It's like, what is this? What is this? Oh, that's the golf program we're in. You should look it up. You know, it brings your program to life and lets you tell the story while also showing that they're getting better over time. Anything to add on the player journey report?
Not much. I think you nailed it. I think it's, motivating the students through those challenges to log, play, and train, and then logging 9-hole events is a really big piece to show that nice looking chart at the bottom of their progress. That's the really powerful piece to it all.
Yeah. And if your goal is to keep someone in for the long term, right, in your program, we know if we get them to level 3, they can play a full tee box. That's the cool part, right? Starts to blend into a USGA handicap. That's exciting. But we paint the vision to get them all the way back to the full tee. But internally, when I was coaching, my goal is to get them through level 3. Level 2 to level 3, if we can get them close to beating it, they can play a full tee box, shoot between 50 and 60, look really competent. They're going to play golf for life. And that's really what we're doing. And this helps bring that to life to show them the milestones. All you have to do is log the 9-hole events for the student. If they're not going to log, you can print this at the end. It's a great way to wrap up your semester, get them bought into the next one. Facility impact report, same thing. You come over to your app, you go to reports, you click facility impact report. You can put in your details that are specific to your facility. You select all the students that were in your program for the year, and it's going to generate a nice looking report that looks just like this. That tells you how many facility track rounds. It shows the impact to your management team to say this is a pretty good look at what the impact of us running golf programs here. There's a lot more work to be done on this for sure. To be able to show the program impact, there's a lot of great info coming out on this as well, on how the value of golf instruction to a facility. If you don't know who Lauren Anderson is, a proponent group, I would highly recommend looking him up. This guy is so passionate about showing how golf professionals and those who are coaching are driving value at facilities. He's got an awesome network of coaches. I've been a part of it for years, but I'm giving him a selfish plug here because he is working on trying to bring some more of this to life, and we're going to work with him a little bit more just to make sure we're showing the impact our professionals are having and making sure that you have job security. And this report truly helps with that. Again, use registration, log your 9-hole events, send some announcements to families. You're going to get that engagement, be able to show the impact at your end of your 8-week program or at the end of the year. All right. We are right here with 2 minutes to go. I can stay an extra 5. I do have a meeting right after this. I bet there's some Q&A. But as a recap, everybody, the 3 skills of an effective coach. Hopefully you've set your program goals already this year. After you set your program goals, it's time to execute. We have the tools, the new registration engine to help you fill your program. Delivering your program becomes easy if you get your lesson plan set up, lean into sending announcements to families, making sure your schedules are set, logging those 9-hole events. And then finally, use those motivating tools and the reporting tools to show the progress and the great work you're doing. Bring it to life. Spend the extra 10 minutes at the end of the semester to print those things. You don't know how much value that drives. And it is the step that leads right back into filling your program again. When you put program registrations up again for the next year, 100 people are going to sign right back up. They sign back up and they're excited, you're excited, and the cycle continues. So let's go into Q&A. Michael, what else do we got to wrap up?
Yeah, so a couple that have come in. As far as the registration process goes, the idea of a waitlist component, is that something potentially in the future?
Totally. It's been requested 4 times now, 5 times now, as someone took the time to write it out. It is it's right up there. Yep. So just know that we'll be prioritizing that. And if it's not coming right away, it'll be here by end of year.
Perfect. And then this is an interesting one as well with registration. Will there be a way potentially for families or students to see the class roster, maybe who has signed up within there? I think I remember we talked about this in the past.
Yeah. This sounds like, that is also a logged feature. If whoever requested that, Michael, let's also make sure that's logged. So that way we see that it's been requested twice. I think it's a really neat one. I think it's going to be one that it would have to be set up as the community would select if they want that turned on or not, because it could go both ways, depending on the club. I think there's a lot of merit to that one though, too. So I think it's a great one. So whoever mentioned it, let's make sure we log it in the feature request board and we'll chalk it up to, that's 2 votes for it now. So.
Perfect. Another good one that somebody's looking to provide a report of their own as a coach, rounds or play and train sessions. Is there a report for that, or a way for a coach to see their own list of their own to show their students practice and play?
So it would be the actual coaches' stats, how much they're playing and practicing?
Yep. So I think potentially maybe you can go to your coach profile within the app and you can be able to pull those numbers.
Oh yeah, but essentially we don't have the ability for a coach to print their player journey report right now. Is that what he's potentially getting at, he or she?
Yeah, I believe so. But as far as you can go to your own coach profile within in the app, and you can see your log sessions, and that could be something potentially you could show. Yeah.
So in the short term there, yes. And then, if they want to log that as a request, that seems to me like something that would not be that hard to allow coaches to do their own player journey report. That would be pretty cool too. So yeah, let's log that one up.
Perfect. Let's see. With multiple coaches in the software, will there be the possibility of having separate Stripe accounts?
Yeah, great question. Right now, it is only one Stripe account, and it's only for the lead coach. So if you don't see the community settings, it is because it's only for the lead coach. It would be a longer term feature to get multiple Stripe accounts linked with multiple coaches. I know that because I know that there's just a few other things in the queue before that comes live, but as of right now, that can't happen. So
let's see. I think that is about it. And if we missed one, we'll make sure we'll go back through some of these questions and shoot you guys an email, or anybody an email that if we may have missed. But that's all I've gotten right now. A lot of thank you very much for going over this is really helpful. Also, we do have some video tutorials that we can send out as well, going over some of the features, registration, and the billing as well.
Yep. It goes through it way better and way more concise than I did. I should have just showed that video probably. So thanks for hanging in with us, everybody. We're excited for the year, excited for the roadmap. We'll do another checkpoint here to keep you up to date on what's coming. And if you have feedback, again, our team is looking at it daily. It goes through Ryan, myself, the entire team. We look at it on Fridays. We organize the priorities based on what's coming in. If you have a request, please put it in there, and we're looking at it. We're really excited for the season. If you have questions, reach out to Seth and Michael. They are here to help you with your program goals. Hopefully by now you've got your dates and pricing set. You've got your goal set of how many golfers you want to create, how much revenue you want to generate. If you don't have those down, Michael and Seth are here to help you. It's the first step. It's actually, once you get past that, everything just kind of snowballs into effect, right? We get your classes live, and you're off to a great season. So we're looking forward to seeing how many golfers everyone could create this year. Have a great season, and I'm sure we'll be following up soon. Thanks, everybody.
You guys have a good one.